All right. Yay! Welcome to the Relationship Reset. We are live for my free masterclass series for you to reset your relationships. That might be you resetting your relationships in business. Maybe for you know that you're still supporting more than you are supported. This might be for you in your personal relationships, as in your romantic relationships, as in your inner circle. Maybe it's to do with your family. Maybe it is to do with your neighbors, right? It could be anybody. We are going to be resetting really who you are in these relationships, because it's never, ever about the other person. It's always about how you are showing up. And so often how we show up is sort of unconscious. We don't even realize we're doing it. So we're going to begin in a moment. I'm just going to fiddle around with my screen. Hey, Julia, as you come say hi. So we're live streaming today through Facebook. We're live streaming today through Zoom. If you're on Zoom, I want to know, is it just me that you can see on your screen? Because hopefully it is. You may have the view open where you can see everybody. But if you were just to click on the speaker, is it just me? Yeah, so Jackie, you're in gallery view, but if you hit on speaker, is it just me? Hey, Gabriella. Hi, gorgeous. Come and say hi as well. We're just fiddling about. We're doing it a slightly new way today. And you know what I'm like with technology, kind of like Dodge City. So if you can tell me in Zoom, that would be awesome. And we will start. Yes, I'm in full Technicolor. Hey, Milani, how are you, beautiful lady? Mwah. Big kiss to you. Yes, good. All right, awesome. So I can relax. We are recording and we are good to rock and roll. All right, come say hi, everybody. And this is where we get to play, right? This is where we really get to play and change things. So for those of you that haven't met me yet, my name is Marina J. The J is because my surname is super long and it's just easier and quicker that way. For 19 years, I have helped, oh my God, I think it's thousands of women, it's a lot, really reclaim their power, reclaim their light, reclaim actually who they are from the past, so they can be utterly powerful in the present and do what they came here to do and receive what they came here to receive. So I help women heal deeply, but I also activate them into where they're meant to be, right? Because you know where you're meant to be, you know the life that's waiting for you. I'm a #1 best-selling author of my book, Turn Yourself On, which I'm not saying that I'm matching it today. Well, I am matching it today. I think red and pink is my favorite color. So #1 bestseller, that book. And I also have a podcast called Turn Yourself On, because if you are not living turned on right now, and by that, I don't mean in a sexual way. I mean, you really having your own deliciousness, your own energy fully available to you, so you really feel like you, then you're turned off. And we're not going to be doing that today. These 3 days are going to be about you reclaiming your energy, reclaiming your power from anyone or anybody, getting your needs met, and really honoring yourself in relationships. You're an absolute queen. Oh my goddess. You're an absolute goddess. When you hear me say goddess, I don't mean you're in some frou-frou outfit, although if it takes your fancy, go for it. I'm talking about you choosing to have a divine relationship with yourself. And what I mean by that is you treating yourself as God would treat you. If you don't like it when I say God, you hear creator instead, or you hear universe instead. But I'm going to use the word God or creator because I love it. This is about you treating yourself as the highest way you could be treated. And it is the exact opposite of how you would treat yourself as if you were a narcissist. So if you've come from narcissistic abuse, if you've come from overgiving, under-receiving, and this is what this whole masterclass series is about, if you've come from difficult relationships, toxic relationships, or relationships that kind of seem okay, but you never really seem to be supported in them, celebrated in them, cheered in them. It's hard for you to be seen and heard, yet the other person always seems to be getting what they need from you. This is for you. This is for you. And when we've come from these sorts of relationships without even realizing it, we get used to draining ourselves in these relationships. We're used to being drained, and we're used to giving energy to the other person. So after an interaction, the other person skips off, they feel amazing, oh my goodness, and you're left feeling tired. You're left feeling drained. You haven't been heard, you haven't been seen, you haven't been supported. Where are you going to get your energy from? If you're spending your energy in these relationships, they could be business, they could be personal, you have all these energy leaks, and you cannot do your life's purpose with all these energy leaks. And I think that the area of relationships is where the most drains live. And that's why we're doing this, right? Because I see so many of you are so clever, you're so talented, you've got big dreams, you know where you're going, but maybe you're going too slowly for you. Maybe you are finding yourself unable to focus on your own dreams for maybe 2 hours in a row. You interrupt yourself, or you get interrupted. You never seem to really gain that momentum. And if relationships for us are taking more than they're giving, that's a key drain, which means you're never really going to get there, not fully. And I don't know about you, by the time I get to the pearly gates, I don't want to be going, oh God, I could have lived life in more color, more vibrancy, more loudness. I wanted to be totally me. If right now, if I had lots of relationships around me, and my goddess, I did, that were draining me. Do you think I could even do this today? Do you think I could be fully me with you today? 100% no. 100% no. And that means I can't fully do what I came here to do. And I know that you've got a big purpose. Your purpose might be global. Your purpose might be more quiet. It's the same impact. And so relationships are either going to lift us up, or very gently or very not gently drop us down. And we don't want that. So we're going to reset our relationships, and we also can't have a great time on this planet without real support. And if you have come from these relationships, honey, you were used to them, and it just becomes normalized then for you to spend your energy in relationships and get drained. And particularly if you've had narcissistic abuse, I think many of us have, it's like, well, how many of us actually can really say we know what a real relationship is? We actually know what it's like to have a real friend, a genuine friend that isn't going to get jealous. If they get triggered by us, they do the work. They're not going to project onto us. They actually genuinely want to see us win. They genuinely want to celebrate us. And as much energy as we're putting into them, they're just putting into us. Not every single time, but I'm talking long term. Or how many of us can say that we've met the love of our life, and the love of our life just puts us first. They put us first when we're not even with them. They just light up when we walk into a room. They're doing things for us. They're thinking of us. They're absolutely there for us. The sun rises and sets with us. How many of us can say that we have the kind of business team that have our back, think about what we need before we even need it, are really, really there for us, right? And where is it for you? Why are you doing these masterclasses? Put it in the chat. Are you doing it more for business relationships, friendships, romantic relationship, your inner circle? It might be your healthcare providers. Maybe you've got some health concerns at the moment and you're finding they're not really there for you. Doesn't matter what you choose. And it may be a few. I'm going to ask you for these masterclasses to focus more on 1 or 2 areas max. So for me, it's definitely in the area of friendships. I have definitely chosen the wrong women who don't have capacity. They don't have emotional capacity for me. They very much like who I am and what I give them, but they're unable to match it. I've incurred a lot of jealousy in my life. And I look at it and I go, well, I'm doing the work, but if you're not doing the work, you're not going to be where you want to be, right? So I want to be friends with women that are actually genuinely doing the work. They're not just projecting onto me and saying, oh, well, you're lucky and good for you and all of that. Now, I've got great friends in my life, but I want more. I literally want more. And I'm also focusing on my business. So my business, we've just doubled our team. So my team has just doubled and it's brilliant. And we've got more support coming in and it feels amazing. So for me, if I have genuine support in my business, I can fly, I can fly, I can fly, I can fly. And there was a time where I really didn't have good support in my business. And I was helping my VAs with their love lives. I was paying them in advance, 6 weeks in advance. I didn't have work for them to do. And then when the time came for them to actually give me that work and do it, they went AWOL and they completely dropped off the face of the earth. And I didn't just have that happen to me once, several times. So my relationship with support has always been an area of growth for me. And I know that that has been key because like you, I have a set amount of energy every single day. If I continue to spend that energy on people who cannot or will not reciprocate, short term, okay, and short term, we want to help people, it's all good. But I'm talking about the people that are in your life long term. This could also be clients, by the way. Long term, it's impossible. It's actually impossible to do anything very well and much if you're just on your own. You'll be at full capacity. You will need to have constant big breaks. Your output will be up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's really important that we learn how to create reciprocal relationships, right? And when I say reciprocal, I literally mean an equal energy exchange. So how nice would it be that when you leave, you know, a friendship or a romantic relationship, any interaction, it doesn't matter, you're uplifted. How about that? How about that? So as you come on, come say hi. Oh my God, you're so cute. Hi, Anastasia. She's given me like a little, if you're on Facebook, she's given me like a little man. I don't even know how you do stuff like that with hello. So cute. So, so cute. Hey, Katie. Hey, Ksenia. Julia, recovering codependent, so it's wide and deep, but mainly interested in family and friends right now. I hear you, sister. I hear you. Hello, beautiful Joe. Lovely to have you on. Here we got here. Friendships at the top of your list. Yeah. Beautiful. Business and friendship. I don't have any of those. I want all of them. Yes, super excited jumped. Super excited to see that my daughter has found the love of her life and gets to watch it happen, and I get to watch it happen. Yes, Leilani, that is so huge. If I would pick one relationship as a priority for support, how about friendship? Yeah. And I was in that space too, Leilani, where I didn't allow anybody in. I'd had such good boundaries that I didn't actually have anybody in because I didn't know how to create reciprocal relationships. So I was like, you know what? It's better to be on my own. And some of you might say, I don't actually have any of that. And so you want to be calling your new people in. So this is what this masterclass is also for. It's for you to call in the new. Yay. All right. So, okay. My own personal life, never had such people love and pamper me except for my daughter, but not anymore. My business has been down for years now. No balance between my giving and receiving. I must confess, I'm with you all the way. Love that you're with us all the way. You are not alone. You are not alone. All right. So I'm going to get really very honest with you right now. So I've pretty much lived in deficit my whole life. I've pretty much lived in deficit my whole life, where I'm getting a lot better, but I'm still much more comfortable giving support than receiving support in relationships. I wonder if you're the same. Let me know in the chat. Do you still feel more comfortable? If that's a yes, just put in yes. Or it might be no, right? But if it is no, you probably wouldn't be here. I've been in deficit my whole life where people get very drawn to me and all of that, and I have great time with them. But when I actually look at it, I think, well, you haven't wished me luck for this, or you haven't done what you said you would do, or whatever it is. And then I've had lots of amazing clients. And as time has gone on, I can definitely say that my clients are a lot more self-led now. So they won't dump on me. They won't kind of complain. They'll actually kind of, you know, they'll do the work and then they'll come to me with whatever they need. So it's definitely better there, but definitely around for me, it's friendships where people are always delighted to see me or whatever. But I think I've said this to some of you before. You know, I remember writing down one year, I was in Australia, and I thought, how, of all of my friends, who would I actually really look forward to seeing? And out of all of my friends, I came up with 2. And I thought, fuck, just 2. No wonder I don't really look forward to seeing them. And that was my body's way of saying, these are not really relationships. Like, in all honesty, if you look at who you would look forward to seeing, you'll see that it's because they want to see you win. They want to celebrate you. You are easily seen and heard. They don't compete against you. They don't project onto you. And they don't use you to try and fix their problems. They don't do any of that. And you might find that it really starts to help clarify. Day 3, we're going to really go into some clarity about resetting your relationships. And so for me, what happened was I ended up really being in deficit as a child in particular. I would feel your feelings before I would feel my own. I would see how you were. I would serve you at the expense of me. And then by the age of 12, my mum noticed I was getting dressed for ballet one day, and she was like, your spine, oh my God, your spine. And we went to the doctor and they said, you've got scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine. So instead of it being straight, it's like an S. And I chose to have a back brace instead of have an operation, which tried to keep it straight. And then after I threw it off when I was 16, I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. I've taken my life into my own hands. I'm not doing it. I embarked on healing it. And one of the things I really realized early on was that my spine was more used to supporting you on that side and you on that side than me. And so I'm still undoing that. Like, if you're friends with me, for example, I'm there for you 100%, right? But I need to be there for me 100% in my friendships so that I really feel how I'm actually affected by you. Otherwise, the whole friendship is about you and what you need. And so if you've had a lot of relationships where it's all about their needs, it's all about them, but not about you, this is very, very important. So after I threw the back brace off, I started healing. Then I became a single mom, which is the epitome. I think that's the right word. Is it the right word? Epitome of doing everything on your own. I found it very difficult to ask for help. Single mom. And then I really started healing. I really started working on myself. I discovered shadow work and I was doing all the things. And then I met Paul. And I remember at the time I had a yoga and sportswear business, and some of you will know me from that time. And I was designing my own yoga and sportswear. And I remember I just got this email from him, and it had 50 names that I could call this collection. And I remember just sitting back in my chair going, who does that? Who does that? And I had 3 jobs at the time. I wasn't sitting down till 10 p.m. at night. Then I started on my business. I had no help. I was pretty much doing everything on my own. Didn't have any family. My friends, my best friends who'd moved out of Sydney. And the only reason I kept seeing this guy, I kept him on, was he just kept adding to me. And it's not that he did things for me and I was like, great, you're in, mate. Not at all. It was an equal energy exchange. So it's not about doing for the person. It's just that when I came off the phone, I just was lifted. And I know that other people have that around me. And it's like, okay, I need to choose more carefully. So I chose more carefully around guys. And I definitely said no a lot more than I said yes. Right? During that time, I had, I think, 2 marriage. Yeah, I've had 2 marriage proposals. I was like, you must be joking. I knew. But around friendships, I was much more hazy. So for me now, the work is around my female friendships. And so then, since then with Paul, I have an amazing reciprocal relationship. But what I've had since then, for the most part, not all, because I've got really great friends now, I just want more, is what I call quasi relationships. Do you have quasi relationships in your life where they're okay? They're okay. They're nice people. They're good people. They're there for you and they love you and you know, they're there, but there's something you can feel it's not quite, there's something missing. And you probably still have greater capacity to give to them, to help them, to be there for them than they do for you. And it's not to say that your whole life you spend talking about your problems. If you're friends with me, I do it very rarely, right? but it's just an equal energy exchange. And it's a feeling. It's more of a feeling than anything else, that when you leave that interaction, you just feel like you. You don't feel like you haven't lost anything. You haven't lost energy. You feel great. I'm talking about that. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you do, let me know, because it is a significant difference. 100%. Yes. 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 Okay, great. That's me doing all on my own and have way too much masculine energy in me and out of balance. Yes. And we're going to be rebalancing the feminine masculine energy tomorrow, Anastasia, and the goddess portion of this. Very much the same. Still keep healing people, acquaintances or friends for free. Is it very unwise? Yep, it is. If you still need the practice, go for it and then be at peace with it. I helped to transform people's lives for many years, and I look at that as my clinic time, my unofficial clinic time. It was a great experience. And then when I started to realize it wasn't right, then it wasn't right anymore. So for some people, it's right for a while. For me, it was right for a while until it wasn't. And only you know when that is. Okay, so how are you all going? Makes sense? Yes. Totally relate, Marina. I'm always checking in how the other person is and feeling and temper myself to accommodate. Yeah, we're not going to be adjusting ourselves anymore, right? 100%. Yes, and I noticed that as I'm carving out time to build relationships, I've been quick to give time to those who need me rather than those who offer to me. Yes, right? Look at who you attract. Look at who you're saying yes to. We're going to focus that more on day 3 with that. I've kept myself available to others and not shown where I need help, focus and attention. Yeah, it's a massive one. Yeah. All right. So quasi relationships, they look like they're better and they are better than what you've had, but it's still not quite, right? It's still not quite. So you are a powerful, luscious woman, right? I want you to really anchor in now to what you're calling in that's new and what you're resetting with the current relationships. I want you to, you can close your eyes if you want, and I'm going to ask you these questions. And these questions were on the website, but I think they're great questions. Do you yearn for relationships where you are seen, heard, loved, and cherished? This is where you don't have to be anything more than you are. I want it to be really easy for you, for people to immediately get you, to immediately get what you mean, what you say, where they just get you, and you don't have to over-explain yourself. You don't have to defend yourself. You know, if something happened, your friend doesn't immediately jump to, or your lover doesn't immediately jump to how the other person must feel. It's like, actually, no, it's you. Are you often left disappointed after interactions with people you care about? Right? Are you often left disappointed after interactions with people you care about? Is it almost always about them, but not about you? And then notice who you're choosing, right? Do you struggle to get your needs met? And no matter what you do or say, nothing ever changes. So that's a tough one, where you are saying it to the person, but nothing changes. Okay, and you've got some decisions to make around that. Do you question whether the relationships you want are even possible? And that can feel like heartbreak. Like, I don't think they're out there. I don't think the guy's out there for me. I don't think a woman's out there for me. I can't imagine it. I literally can't imagine what it would feel like to have that. Do you feel lonely even when you're in a throng of people? So if you're in a throng of people, do you often just feel like it's kind of just you? Just notice that as well. So we're going to reset your receiving energy. We're going to get jumping right into that. So because relationships, if you've come from difficult relationships, one-sided relationships, not relationships, and relationships in general can be hard, okay, it's important for you to understand why, like Leilani was saying, she kind of jumps in and helps people. Why are you still doing that? Why are you still somebody that will hone in and give to that person rather than immediately just have a relationship where you just see who they are and see what they want to give you and see what they want to say? Why are we already doing that? Why are we already going go, 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 go? Okay. We're going to, in this masterclass, reset your receiving energy to expand it. I want it to be easier for you to receive in relationships, but actually this masterclass, you're going to find it easier to receive everything. And we want to make it safe for you to receive more love, more support, more nourishment in your relationships. tomorrow, we're going to reset your goddess energy. Okay, so when you've had a history of sacrificing yourself to give and be of service, you know what drops? Your magnetic feminine energy. It gets depleted. And in this masterclass tomorrow, we're going to reset your very feminine goddess energy so that you do receive much more easily from the people around you, from your business, so that you're treated like a goddess in all your relationships. That's a real energy frequency shift. Day 3, we're going to go into your relationship energy. And, you know, if we're not getting our needs met, we're going to resent them. Distance is going to build, right? Well, a bit like, fuck you, right? Or we just make do, wonder why we flatline. And so what we're going to do on the day 3 is we're going to reclaim your power, right? We're going to reclaim your power from anywhere where you're frightened of losing them, you don't want to upset them, you are adjusting yourself to them, any of that stuff, right? Any and all of that stuff we're going to be doing, so that you're no longer the rescuer, you're no longer the overdoer, you're no longer always the supporter, but never the supported, right? And we're going to go through how to create gorgeous reciprocal relationships and really call in those new loved ones who see you easily, hear you easily, celebrate you, right? They don't get jealous, they don't compete, they celebrate you. Because for somebody who has loved so easily, you're so easy to love. You're so easy to love. But you've been pouring it outwards to everybody else. And we want to change the energy. So instead of your energy billowing out, it comes back to you. And this is the work that is the basis for creating a love affair for life, right? Real best friends, a business that really enriches your soul's purpose, you know, a team around you that enriches your soul's purpose in every way, and really creating a relationship with this planet that feeds your soul. So what would it feel like for you to be fully supported by this planet in every which way, so that you can do what you came here to do, you can buy what it is that you want to buy, you can live how you want to live. If you decide you want to go away for a couple of weeks, you can, and you are fully supplemented, you're fully resourced, you are fully in overflow, so that you actually have that kind of relationship. So when we reset this energy in relationships, we're also talking about the relationship with this planet. It's the same. Planet, business, personal relationships, right? So I want you to really kind of anchor into this. This work is the basis of what I do with my clients. And what we're going to be doing over these 3 days is the paid stuff that I usually charge for. So I'm really glad you're here. Treat it as it's precious, because you are precious, and really go for it. Really, really go for it, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to receive. You deserve to be supported. You deserve to receive energy, because at the end of the day, everything is energy. And if you're somebody that's used to giving out a lot of energy, I want you to get used to having a lot of energy come in. And that energy that's coming in, right? What could that energy be? Well, it could be money. It could be love. It could be support. It could be anything and everything that you want. So, and before I go on, again, we're in a group session, and I know I'm very activating. My work is very activating. So if you ever feel like you need more support than any of my group sessions can give you, absolutely step away, contact whoever you love to work with, and get yourself a session one-on-one. That might be with me, that might be your favorite practitioner, doesn't matter. Always get your needs met, because what you do here affects there. What you do in the here and now affects your success in business, your success in health, your future, all of it. Okay, so the first step is, if we want to create reciprocal relationships for ourselves, and we want to, it's almost like, how do we receive? How do we receive, right? Receiving is like the antidote to you always giving at your expense. So, and I have to say too, sorry, if you're listening to the replay, just hit #replay, right? So I can circle back and find you. So let's reset your receiving energy. We're going to expand it, and we're going to make it safe for you to receive love and support and nourishment in relationships. So again, it doesn't matter if you don't have any of these relationships right now, we're making it safe for you when you bring them in, right? Or you may have them. Question, do you still find it easier to give in relationships than to receive? Just put it in the chat. I want to hear from you. And if you're over giving and under receiving in relationships, and you may not even be consciously aware of it, you just know that you don't feel so good when you leave, you feel tired, that's your first sign, right? If you leave, feel tired after an interaction. But you know that these are not people that maybe you really look forward to seeing, okay? If you are overgiving and under receiving, this is like a template around you. This template will be affecting the amount of money you allow yourself to receive, the people you allow into your life, the opportunities you allow into your life, even how many miracles you allow into your life. You've got a template where you're like, you know what? This template, although you may not like it, it's keeping you safe. Right now, if you still find it easier to give than to receive, it's keeping you safe. So let's find out why. Why would someone like you find it easier to give in relationships than receive? Because you're beautiful, right? Why would you even do this to yourself? So let's talk about that. So let's say when you were growing up, see if you can recognize yourself here. When you grew up, did you feel attacked, unsafe, misunderstood, blamed, shouted at, rejected, unseen, not heard? If you think about when you were growing up, there would have been good times, absolutely. But if you remember growing up, maybe it felt quite like a harsh environment, then somewhere along the line, in order to protect yourself when you were little, you would have realized that receiving attention isn't safe. And so you needed to restrict receiving people's energy that was directed towards you because it didn't feel nice. It was yucky, right? It felt like it could obliterate you, or it felt like it might smash you, or it felt really scary. Maybe that person was really angry. Maybe you had people coming home drunk and shouting. Maybe there was violence in your home. Maybe there was emotional violence in your home. When we have a kid, a child who is receiving stuff that they don't want to receive, it's not safe, guess what happens? That child goes, you know what? I'm going to shut off receiving completely. It's actually better to shut off, and I'll just do what I came here to do. So I will give you attention. I will help you. I will be nice to you, but I don't want to receive anything because I'm safe in my giving energy, right? So I can give light. I just don't want to receive what you think is light. Okay, so I can get light from my pet cat. I can get light now from nature. I can get light now when I paint or whatever, but I don't want it from people. Somewhere along the line, I restricted my ability to receive from people because they're not safe for me. Do you relate to that? If you did as a child, there wouldn't have been a way for you to go, you know what, I'm going to restrict you, but it's great coming from you. We sort of start to find all humans a bit scary, all adults a bit scary, right? They become dangerous. So we go, you know what, it's better to shut off from people. I'll just do what I came here to do. I'll be a healer. I'll be a service provider. I'll be a coach. I'll be a visionary. I'll do what I came here to do, but I don't really want to receive. And then we wonder why our businesses aren't growing, our friendships aren't growing, all of that, because somewhere in you, you're like, no, thanks, no. Notice if as a child, did you often feel like you were the lightest energy in the room? Were you the lightest energy in your family where everyone else maybe felt heavy to you? You probably carried a lighter vibration. So then receiving anything from these people, even if it was happy, lovely stuff, maybe felt kind of unappealing and a bit yuck, and you're like, yeah, I don't want it. So you may have made a decision as a child that it was better to give but not receive. So you could avoid the heaviness because it just brought you down. So to stay safe, you restricted receiving because there was no one around you with the levels of joy that you held, or maybe still hold. Maybe you still feel like that. Notice if that's true for you. And again, this is all the work I've picked up from coaching thousands of women around the world. I can see all these patterns. Maybe if you, when you were a kid, your parents were super supportive, they didn't feel nice. And on reflection, you go, oh, that's because that actually wasn't support, it was control. And it was control because my parents were coming from fear, or my caregivers were coming from fear. You may have a distorted view that receiving support is actually control, so you're going to block it. Or maybe what seemed to be love coming in was actually control, or actually rejection, or some manipulation. So you're like, you know what, I'm going to reject love. So when we have distortions as a child, we know it's not right because we're so pure. We're like, that's not right. We reject it. And then we keep those barriers up. And so if we restricted our receiving ability in order to stay safe, is this restriction template also reducing our ability to easily receive real love, money, luck, happiness, abundance, miracles, the dresses we want, the guidance from our higher selves and our intuition, right? Because it can affect that as well. Our relationship to the universe, support, attention, our business growing. Notice that. Have you put a receiving restriction on yourself? And where is that most showing up in your life? Just notice. So healing our receiving trauma is an absolute must. And I call some of this, and you're going to hear me talk about this too, the narcissistic template. And you're going to hear me talk about the narcissistic template or the NARC template. And we know that we're running the NARC template in our lives anywhere where we're giving 80% in any interaction, but only receiving 20% back. And so there's that depletion, right? There's that regular depletion. And that template was formed around us, usually as a child. We formed it ourselves to stay safe, and then we carry it through. And we wonder why our businesses aren't growing. And for me, you know, when I cleared it out of my business grew 5 times in 1 year. And I wasn't coaching in any different subject. I hadn't started any new courses. Nothing had changed. But I literally made it safe for myself to receive. It's an absolute game changer. So how safe is it for you to receive? And, you know, how many of you are receiving too much? It's just so funny even just to say it. Like, you know, do you ever walk around going, oh, I've received too much today. Oh, it just feels yuck. Oh, you're never going to say that. So what do you feel overly responsible for, particularly in your relationships? Do you feel overly responsible now? This is where you're overgiving, right? Are you overdoing, overgiving? Is it financial support? Are you maybe supporting your partner, or maybe you're a single parent, or you have dependents, right? You're doing a lot. Are you the doer? Maybe you're somebody that does a lot more of the practical, physical support in your relationships. Are you the healer, the spiritual support, the emotional support in relationships? Are you the fixer, right? Because it's different, right? How are you overgiving? In what way do you overgive? Are you overgiving more in masculine support? So you're the one that sort of pays the bills, takes care of the money, takes care of your assets, take care of your investments, does the majority of the household chores, cooking, childcare. All that's masculine. I know we think of cooking as feminine, but when we have to do it all the time, it becomes masculine, right? Or are you overly giving that feminine support, where it's like you're overly the person that, you know, listens, you don't really talk, you listen all the time, you help people with their problems, you are the person everybody comes to when they've got a problem, you know, you're the person that can just transform stuff for them. Maybe you're somebody that always does their hair and makeup. Maybe you're somebody that just really nurtures and nourishes people with food, and you're somebody that gives people massages. Again, that's overly on the feminine side. So let's talk about how we reset this now. The first stage of receiving is to want, is actually for you to allow yourself to easily desire, and then to decide that it's already going to happen. So if you want to make it safe for yourself to receive more, we need to make it safe in your body to receive. Otherwise, your mind is going to say one thing, yes, I want all of these things, but you're going to contract. And so we're going to do 2 things together. I'm going to talk to you about receiving more. through deciding. And then we're going to do a deciding activation so that you actually allow it, you make it safe in your body to receive more. So if you think about it, when we've had a lot of underwhelming relationships, we sort of make do, we don't really believe it could be possible, we can't imagine it, we can't feel it, all of those things. We actually stop wanting. Remember, if you go back to when you were in these difficult relationships, do you remember that you didn't really have any say in them? And do you remember that the pace of the relationship was dictated by the other person? It was the other person that set the tone. It was the other person that said who, what, why, when, and how much, because it was all about them, not about you. And so you became very used to not even hearing what you needed or wanted. In this reset, the way that we reset it, it doesn't matter that you've got maybe lots of people in your life that your energy is bleeding out to. It doesn't matter. It's not even about them either. God loves them, right? It's not about them. We're taking them off the hook. We're not blaming anybody, none of that. But we're looking at ourselves and we're going, well, what is the opposite of that? If I've had all these difficult relationships where it was all about them, but not about me, then who was the deciding person in that relationship? Well, it's them. Yeah. They decided what we talked about. They decided whether I helped or not. They decided where my energy went. I was a sort of passive person. And so in order for us to reset our ability to receive, we need to take that power back. And we need to start to exercise a muscle that I see a lot of people having a slack muscle around, particularly after narc abuse and one-sided relationships. And that is you making decisions. You making decisions of how it's going to go and how it's going to be. And it has nothing to do with the outside world. Okay, I'm going to explain in a minute. So I want to just see what you've written before I jump into this section. How are you all going? And how are you with deciding, by the way? Jackie, you can have your camera on or off. Doesn't matter. Yeah, no, all good, all good, all good. I trust that I have a lot to give, but I don't trust that others have a lot to give. Yeah. And it's that feeling of you always over-functioning in relationships. And the thing is, you don't know because you've probably never really sat back to see what they are going to do or be, but also look at the choices you're making. Are you choosing people that naturally don't have capacity to give to you? Because that also is part of the narc template. That's you keeping yourself safe because you don't trust it. You're so in your masculine. Good Lord, I'm pretty much all of that. Leaning more to the masculine doing. I love that term, underwhelming relationships. Yes, 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 sister, absolutely. Let me just hop into Facebook. It happens to me most of the time with those close to me, yet to my patients, you are their fairy angel. Yeah. And you know what I always say about that, Minta? I'm not your source, you are. Yeah. I'm not your source, you are. Yes, 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 yes to all above. That's such a powerful realization. Thank you about being the light in the room. And even what was offered to give and was heavier, denser. Yes. Single mom and the one supporting everyone in the family, parents, siblings, and also friends mentally and financially. Yeah. And that it's just not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. And the thing is, it only ends when we shift our energy. So let's start to call your power back in and let's talk about you deciding. So you can decide how the rest of your life is going to go. And let me talk about deciding. You've got your desires and you might say, I want this and I want that. But have you decided that it's also going to happen? It's very powerful because otherwise we end up going, I desire this, I desire that. The universe will bring it to me. And that's nice, right? That's also outsourcing our power away. What we want to do is be the antidote to our past. And that means sitting in your deciding energy. I actually decide that this is how it's going to be. And it's not a domineering, controlling, it's none of that. It's just you going, That's just how it's going to be. That's just how my life is going to be. So if you think about the area of relationships that you are most wanting to focus on, so let's say it's business support, what are you deciding on there? This is where there's no more room for stories as to how it's been. This is how it's going to be, because you start to set the tone. When you decide how it's going to be, you enter into the point of creation. And when you add to that decision daily, you add to that creation daily. And it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds. The opposite of that is maybe what you used to do, where you would say, I want this. And then somebody else basically tells you, you can't have this, or they take your energy, or you give your energy, or whatever. And you're constantly outsourcing. You're looking to the outside world to give you feedback as to whether it's the right thing you've chosen and as to whether it's actually going to happen or not. And then that reduces your energy, that reduces your you-ness, that reduces your magnetism. It reduces all of it. You have to be the one to decide. So if you think about 4 or 5 things that you want, and you might want to write them down as I'm talking, focus on the area that you're focused in. So let's say it's business. You might say, I want to have this many clients come in. I want to be fully supported by my assistant, or I'd like to call in an assistant that fully supports me, or a new team member. You might decide that you're going to reach X amount of people this week, and you might decide that you're just fully going to be in your energy, right? When you actually decide and you make that decision every day, you may not get shown anything in the outside world, anything different. You might spend 1 or 2 months deciding and nothing changes. But this is manifestation. This is how someone like you begins to genuinely receive, expands their ability to receive, is you keep leaning into what it is that you want, and you keep deciding that it's happening. And if you do that every day, and you might do that through visualization, you might do that through writing it down, you might do that through just a sort of a process that you love to do. Maybe you dance and you just go, it's going to happen. I already know it just is. It just is. Then eventually your intent and your action, because you will end up taking action, because you'll just get that guidance to take action because you've decided. So your higher self is going to show you the action to take. In your intention, that action will meet up, and it will be so. But you have to keep leaning in. You have to keep deciding, and to make it a pleasure to do so. So it's like, let's say that you are wanting to meet the love of your life, and you are meeting lots of frogs. You can maybe need 2 weeks to clean yourself up again after you met frog number 38 and go, oh God. Or you can go, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. I've decided it's happening. And then you take the aligned action with that. It's a very different mindset. Is this you treating yourself like a goddess? Yeah. Is this you treating yourself like your future self would want you to treat you? Yeah, it is. Because if you see these dreams and these desires, then there's a match for it in the outside world. And so who are you to lean out from that and instead take the feedback from everybody else, take the feedback from people that drain you, allow your energy to be drained? We're not doing that. We're going to actually, this is what I'm deciding. So let's say you're going to decide that you're going to have reciprocal relationships, and you decide that it's going to be easy, and you decide that you're just going to meet these people, whether it's business, relationship, personal, it doesn't matter. You're going to meet them. You're going to instantly recognize them. They're going to instantly recognize you. And it's just going to feel wonderful. And you just make that decision because you get to have it all. The power no longer sits in anybody's lap. The keys to your future do not sit in your boss's lap. They do not sit in your life coach's lap. They do not sit in your lover's lap. They do not sit in your children's lap, your friend's lap, your ex-husband's lap, your ex-wife's lap, whoever. The keys to your future are in your lap. But you've got to decide. You've got to decide that this is how it's going to be. Maintain that intent. take the action and keep going for it. This is how you create. I see so many people after narc abuse be deficit in this area. They're very good at no longer having the bad stuff anymore, but they haven't brought the new in. It's because they don't know how to lean in. They don't know how to create because they're so used to their energy billowing out. And what we're saying to you now is have a practice where that energy billows in every day and you build and you build and you build on what you want. So that means that no matter what is being shown to you in the outside world, unless it's really like very obvious and oh my God, you keep leaning into what you want. You keep leaning into your decision and you keep seeing it and feeling it regardless. And you build that. That is the opposite of narc abuse. Okay. So I want you to start practicing that. And it's a decision that you make every day. So you might decide every day that you are going to meet the love of your life. And it's not like I'm going to visualize and oh my God, you just go, it's happening. I already know it's happening. I already know he's already on his way or she's already on her way, whatever it is. And you just decide it's happening. It's can you feel it? It's a very different energy in you. It's very solid. It's very sure of itself. Does your energy leak out? No, because we're not hoping, we're not wishing. Oh, it's happening. It's absolutely happening. So when I met Paul, before I met Paul, I always knew I'd meet the love of my life. It was just a very, I just knew. It wasn't even I didn't feel powerful thinking it. It just is. I just knew. There are other areas of my life that I don't know. So that's the area I need to work in, where I go, it's just going to happen. And this is you supporting you. When you start to really support you in this way, you start to get used to what support feels like in relationship. And then when you call these people in, it's much more easy for you to recognize that in another. Yeah. How does that feel for you? Make sense? Ksenia, yay. Yeah. Hey, Nancy. I'm taking on responsibilities that were delegated yet never fulfilled by the other person. Yeah. I'm getting too deep in the weeds with some things because some have proven they can't be trusted. Absolutely. And so what I do there, Nancy, is I look at my relationship with support. And if the other person isn't able to do it, it's like, okay, I'm going to call somebody else in that can, because this is not sustainable long-term. It just isn't. And if you're realizing, oh God, it's always me that does it, blah, 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 that's that pattern. That's that narcissistic template, what I call the narc template. And so when you really start to decide what decisions can you make around this of how it's going to be, so you're no longer on the back foot, you're no longer the person that is just having to constantly react to somebody else's lack, you start to bring your power back. Being in the knowing feels amazing when you realize where you have that knowing. Absolutely, absolutely. It makes 110% sense. Love it. Wonderful, Marina. Great. Perfect sense. It's a visceral thing. Yes. Very clear. Thanks, Marina. Yes. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, good. You got it. All right. We're going to do an activation now. Who wants an activation? I do. I do. And I'm the one giving it. I feel like an activation. Okay. So the first stage of receiving is to decide, desire and decide what you want. You start deciding every morning, you will expand your ability to receive. Now, we're going to make it safe for you to receive that expansion. So we need to make it safe for your body to receive. Otherwise, your mind is going to say, I want more. And your body's going to go, I don't know what I have more. And you're going to feel the tension in your body, right? And we don't want the contraction. We don't want the contraction. We want to be able to receive in the moment. And if you're in the Facebook group, I did a training on that, I think 2 weeks ago, where I really went into how to allow yourself to receive in the moment. If you're not in the Facebook group, that's the Narcissistic Template group. It's called Release a Narcissistic Template and Rise, or Release the Narc Template and Rise. Come find us because I do lots of training in there. Okay, so we're going to do the deciding activation. So from yuck to yum, we're going to make it yummy for you to receive more. I want you receiving more. And I want you receiving more. So, you know, we're doing all this work so that eventually you don't even have to think about it. It just is. It just is. So whenever you're ready, just closing your beautiful eyes. And just take some breaths. And you are deciding to have it. You are deciding to have it all. Just breathe into that decision. And I want you to see, sense, or feel there's a brilliant golden light above your head. And this is a golden activation light. It's going to activate your decisions. And at the top of your head, above your head, in this gold light, have your decisions above your head. What kind of relationships are you calling in? What kind of reset are you wanting between yourself and another? What do you want for your business? How many new clients do you want? What do you want for your life? Just have them floating above your head. These are your decisions. This is you deciding. You're ready for this. And then let this golden light pour in through the top of your head like a waterfall. And let it move through your third eye. So you clearly see your decisions. You clearly see the right way forward. Allow that golden light to cleanse any grayness, any fuzziness, anything where you're not clear. Allow that golden light to clear it. Feel that golden light now whoosh down to your throat, center of your throat. Let yourself speak only of your decisions, only of what you desire. Let that brilliant golden light clear up any confusion, any self-doubt, any story that you tell yourself that you can't or why you can't. Let it allow you clarity of expression. You speak only of what you want. Bring that gold light now down to your heart, center of your heart. And bring into your heart a knowingness that you can have what you want, that you can have everything you want. Because if you want it, there's a match for it in the outside world. To bring this gold light into your heart, a knowingness, you get to decide how it's going to be. And you get to have it all. You get to have it all. You get to have it all. You get to have it with ease, with joy. Just breathe into that, allowing your heart to receive it all. And just placing your hand on your heart and saying to your heart, you're safe to receive this. You're safe to receive it all. You're safe to receive it all. You're safe to receive it all. And you are. Just breathe into that. And you've decided that it's utterly delicious and that you have to have it. You deciding brings what you want to you. And just breathing into seeing what you want as utterly delicious, like yummy. It's yummy for you. Because you want more. Give yourself full permission to have more. You've decided that you can handle whatever it brings with it. More wealth, more ease, more joy, more lusciousness. All of this increases your power. You're safe to have it all. Bring this golden light down to your belly. Just touching your belly. This golden light is activating your decisions, your desires. And out loud, say, I want more. I want more. I want more. It is safe for me to have more. It is safe for me to have more. It is safe for me to have more. Where before it was yucky to have, now it's yummy to have. It's delicious to have. It's pleasurable to have. Just feel all those pleasurable feelings in your body. It's pleasurable to have. It's pleasurable to have. It is pleasurable for me to have. Bring those decisions down through the whole of your body to your belly. Maybe you're deciding to always be growing your money and have more and more each time you look in your bank account. Maybe you are deciding on your relationships. Maybe you are deciding on your business. How delicious is it for you to have more? You're built to have more. Just breathe into that. Bring your hands down now, just to around your belly button. And just bring that golden light down to your solar plexus, calling your power back in from wherever you've spent it. Calling your power back in. And in your belly button, just filling this whole area up with pleasure, joy. You having more is going to give you more pleasure and joy. And then bring your hands just the top of your pubic bone, just above your vulva. And just feeling the strong foundation you are creating yourself of deciding now how it's going to be. Because for somebody like you, with a high vibration, you're conscientious, you're always going to choose something of a high vibration, this or something higher. So feel this beautiful foundation you're creating for yourself, where you just get to decide how it's going to be. You might be feeling yourself expanding, your temperature may change. And then with your hands, the golden light goes all the way down your legs, all the way down to Mother Earth. Mother Earth has a special affinity for women and supporting women in their desires and their decisions. So allowing her now to fully support you. She wants you to have everything you want. She's smiling, she's holding you. And as you breathe that golden energy now, with her energy in it, all the way back through your body, bring that energy all the way up through to the center of the sky. That's where the Creator sits. And the Creator wants you having everything you want. Your higher self, which is also your future self, wants you having everything you want, because that's how they got here, right? They already have more than you, and they know that it's safe for you to have more. Feel yourself fully supported above and below. You're safe to have it all. Repeat after me out loud. I am safe to have it all. I'm safe to have it all. I am safe to have it all. Just feeling yourself fully full of this gold activating light, activating your decisions. And with your hands, just taking your hands to your head, I'm safe to have everything I want. Take your hands to your neck. I am safe to have everything I want. Hands to your chest. I am safe to have everything I want. Hands to your solar plexus. I am safe to have everything I want. Down to your belly. I am safe to have everything I want. And you are. And there's a knowingness now that's building in you, a knowingness that it gets to be easy, it gets to be pleasurable, it gets to be fun, it gets to be inspiring. And most of all, you get to have what you know in your heart is right for you. You get to have it all. So keeping your hand on your belly, thanking your higher self, thanking the Creator, thanking your spirit team, angels, goddesses, your ancestors, any high-level teachers you have accrued across the time and space continuum. Just thanking them now for the miracles that you now receive easily. Thanking your future self now for the miracles that you receive easily. I receive easily. I receive easily. I receive easily. And you do. And with that, very, very gently, just relaxing your hands down, feeling yourself full of this beautiful golden light, and just very, very gently, just opening your eyes, coming back into the space, squeezing your fingers, squeezing your toes. All right. We get to decide, right? We get to decide. All right. So how is that? Sonia's written, yes, the Facebook Live that you did 14 days ago is golden. Must watch it. Yay. Thank you so much, Marina. Have to pop off. We'll return for the replay. Yes, we've gone over time. I couldn't help it. So we are complete. Your bliss work, that was delicious. Yay. Your bliss work is to do this again. To do this again before session 2 tomorrow. So the replay of this will be up immediately in Facebook. It will go up in my website tomorrow morning. If you can do it again before next class, that will really, really help you, because I really want you to get into this yummy, feminine, receiving, delicious, deciding energy. Get your decisions ready. You're going to kind of really lean in, do them again tomorrow morning. And you're so welcome. And I will see you tomorrow. Yes, from yuck to yum. That's exactly how I wrote it. I wrote it like that, like big capital letters. Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks, Marina. Beautiful. Thank you. Love it today. I love you all so much. You're so welcome. Bye. See you tomorrow.